up that computer call. Come over here and kiss me on my hot mouth. I'm feeling romantical.
And 3, 2, 1. Yes!
Let's go. We made it.
Hey,
We're here.
We made it.
We're here. We made it. We're feeling romantical.
get used to
Go.
it.
Let's go.
We're feeling romantical. Give us the Buckeyes. We're in, boys. Welcome in. $1 Million
Yeah,
Radio.
yeah. We made
Episode
it.
15. Yes, that feels good. It's
That's
going to look
crazy.
good, too.
And it's crazy. The season's almost over, man, for the college
Yeah.
In
football.
the blink of an eye, it's gone.
Yeah, it's we are done with the regular season. It is official. But congratulations to the Tennessee Volunteers
Yes.
being one of the 12 playoff participants. Not everybody can say that at the
Not
end of the year.
everyone.
You know a team that can't say that?
Alabama.
Yeah.
Sweet home Alabama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crimson Tide fans, no Tide, no, is what I would say.
Yep. No Tide, no.
Y'all aren't in it. You don't deserve to be in it. I mean, I've seen so many things. I'm going to show a tweet right now that I was talking to Jacob about earlier. So this guy, it came on my algorithm on Twitter, or X. I don't know why I've got Alabama fans on my feed. What is it? At Torrenson Bama. Alabama should never schedule a tough game again. End of story. The committee just ruined college football. Mm-hmm. At the time I took the picture, 1.7 thousand likes, 7.6 or 1.7 thousand retweets, 7.6 thousand likes. My reply, all 3 losses came in conference play, not games scheduled by Alabama. Was Oklahoma a tough game? 3 points. Bama fans don't know how to take the fall off.
Woo!
LOL.
You
Ouch.
torched him or her. But you
Yeah.
torched that person. You torched them.
Yeah.
These Alabama fans, they're crying. Hey, just remember, don't cry to the committee. Cry to the team that lost to Vanderbilt and Oklahoma
And Tennessee.
I can. You could afford a Tennessee loss, but you cannot afford a Vanderbilt and an Oklahoma loss in the same season. You just can't do it, and you don't deserve to be there.
And the fact that they only put up 3 points.
Yeah, it was a
come on.
very disappointing loss. Very
They were going to
disappointing.
get in over an SMU team who had 1 loss through the regular season and then made it to the conference championship game. No.
Yeah, no.
So, but I don't want to sit here and talk about Alabama. They don't deserve us to talk about them. We're going to talk about the Vols. We've got not Oklahoma, jeez.
Man, rent free.
It's been a long day. We took care of Oklahoma when
We
went
did
to Norman.
easily.
But yeah, Tennessee, Ohio State. Griffin said when he got here that something that I forgot about. We've only played 1 time.
Yep.
One time. 2 historic programs that are, not the face of college football. I wouldn't say Tennessee is the face of college football. That'd be Alabama,
I mean, I'd say they're
Georgia.
both, A-tier programs over the history of
Absolutely.
college
Like
football.
if you get on the college football video game, the program prestige,
Yeah.
we got 5 stars, they got 5 stars. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
Historically, we've always been up there with
what was the game we played? It was a bowl
It
game.
was the 1990, I guess it'd be 96 Citrus Bowl.
Yeah, and we won.
20 to 14.
So Alabama is in some hot water right now, boys. Coming off the loss to Michigan a couple weeks ago.
Alabama, huh?
Did I say Alabama?
Yeah.
What is wrong with me?
No, you're good. We'll start it. So Ohio State, they lost a slugfest of a game to Michigan,
Yeah.
and now
Game
that-
they were projected to win by 20 points.
and now they have to go back to their home in front of all these fans that are expecting a win, and they have to play Josh Heupel, Nico Imaliava, James Pierce Jr.,
Dylan Sampson.
Jermod McCoy, Dylan Sampson, SEC Offensive Player of the Year, ain't
Yeah.
he? Yeah. Hey, let's give that a round of applause, man.
Absolutely.
We've been harping on we want Ashton Jeanty to win the Heisman, and it's looking good so far.
As he should.
Yes, he should. He's deserving. But I didn't expect to be saying that Dylan Sampson would be up here with the SEC Player of the Year. So
Yeah. He
very
just
great.
had one of those years. He's had one of the best years of any running back outside of Jeanty and 1 or 2 others, but he didn't make what is it, the Doak Walker
I
Award?
think that's what it is.
Like the running, is it like a running back?
Best
Yeah.
running back in the country. He wasn't named
Like-
a finalist.
Well, yeah, that's crazy work.
Yeah, but I'll take the SEC Player of the Year. I'll take the trip to the playoffs. I'll definitely take that.
I'll take a guy that feels like he deserves to be somewhere with maybe feels like he has something more to prove.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
And my dad told me earlier that I haven't looked into Ohio State much just yet, but he's seen some of the Ohio State podcasts that have mentioned, they don't think Tennessee's defense is all that. They're not going to be much better than Michigan's defense.
Have fun.
And also, Ohio State's defensive line is only like 6 people deep. So you got 2 guys coming off the bench.
Yeah.
What kind of rotation is
Compared
that?
to-
We got 11.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're outmatched.
Dylan Sampson about to make light work. Swiss cheese of that Ohio
And that's
State
the thing.
defense.
They said the stat for the Ohio State Michigan game, the last 23 years, the team who rushes for the most yards wins.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I have a feeling Tennessee's going to put up 250 on the ground.
I could see that. And the thing I'd like to add that I saw mentioned somewhere else was that Dylan Sampson, he isn't going to kill you in the first or the second quarter, maybe not even the third, but by the time the end of the third, the fourth quarter comes,
It's like how Derrick Henry is in the NFL.
he wears you down.
Yeah.
He wears you down. And I just don't think that 6 guys, are going to be able to handle that much. I mean, I really don't. I feel very favorable about Tennessee going up there because it's not even a far away game.
About 5 hours.
Yeah, it's not going to be too much different than what it would be in Knoxville, climate wise. It'll probably be cold. If it keeps it up, it won't be that cold, but it's not going to be like we're going over in the snow somewhere.
Yeah. Who knows? It might end up snowing. We don't know the forecast just yet, but it will be cold. Boys, I have a stat line to give to you. I want you to guess what player this is, okay? 9 completions out of 16 attempts, 62 yards passing, 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Who is that?
Will Howard.
Yeah.
Nope. The guy who beat Will Howard,
Oh my God.
Michigan's quarterback.
That was a crazy swerve. I did not expect that.
So, do you think? I think their running back,
No,
Mullings.
was it Alex Orji or was it their other quarterback?
No, Davis Warren.
Okay.
So their running back, Michigan's running back, Khalil Mullings, 32 carries, 160 yards, and 1 touchdown. If Sampson can put up those type of numbers on this,
Which he's capable of.
which he's very capable of, he gets 100 yards rushing every game, I'm pretty sure, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And he scores a touchdown every game.
Except versus UTEP, I think.
He didn't get okay.
I don't think so.
But Warren, 9 of 16, 62 yards, 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. That don't look like a Nico stat line.
That doesn't.
That don't look like a Nico stat
Looks
line.
like a Nico maybe minus the interception, like a first quarter stat line.
Yeah.
9%.
Yeah, 62 yards throughout the whole game, no touchdowns.
That's like a drive.
That's-
Or
Yeah.
yeah. I mean that's why Ohio State lost it because they barely threw it. You're only throwing it 16 times.
Yeah.
And you get it intercepted twice. Of course, that's not a good way to go. But
Yeah.
if Tennessee goes in, we play our game. I feel good about our chances. I'm not saying it's going to be a blowout. I don't think that at all. I don't think it will probably be as ugly as the Michigan game was for Ohio State. I feel like they will probably have made some adjustments, but I feel like they're going to make adjustments more for themselves, not towards us, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
They have a lot more stuff to fix than to actually look out for us.
Which I've seen majority of the, broadcasters and podcasters out there in the world are saying this will be the game of the playoff.
It will be. It will be.
At least the first round, yes.
Yeah, it will be. Out of
All eyes will be on this game, 8 o'clock Eastern time on a Saturday night. I'm pretty sure the 4 games that are in this first round are all 4 either Friday or Saturday. So giving us that primetime spot on Saturday, biggest game of round 1 for sure.
Yeah. And I'm pretty happy with what the committee did. Of course, we talked about Alabama not making it in. Obviously, if you're Alabama fans, y'all are a little disappointed. But like I said, you should be disappointed that y'all didn't beat Vanderbilt more than disappointed that you didn't get in.
Yeah.
And what about SMU coming back versus Clemson now? They did choke that end with the special teams kickoff, but
Yeah.
they kind of proved to me personally at the beginning of the game, I said they did not deserve to be in because they're getting blown
I got
out.
receipts, Jacob. I got receipts.
I'm admitting it. I didn't think they did because they were getting blown out. Strength of schedule's not great, etc.
Yeah.
But at the end, they proved that they are capable of making things competitive, and I don't know how much that would hold up versus a Georgia. I don't think it would, but I do think they deserve to be in the top 12 of the teams there.
Yeah, so these first round matchups, we'll get to the lines as they've opened up here in just a little bit. Obviously, Ohio State hosts Tennessee, and we have 5-seeded Texas hosting the ACC champions. Now, how the hell did Clemson win the ACC this year? Don't know.
By luck.
Don't know.
They were the second in the conference. No, realistically, the way they won, well, first, how they got there was Miami screwed their own destiny up.
Yeah.
It was looking like the whole year would be Miami heading towards it, right?
Yeah.
But then Cam Ward and the Canes, man, they didn't make the right calls. They decided to kick a field goal, and they didn't get the ball back, and they lose to Syracuse. So opened it up right open for Clemson.
Guess what team lost this weekend in these championship games, but got rewarded for it?
Penn State.
Penn State.
Yeah.
Penn State will host SMU, who lost in that ACC championship, 6th seed hosting the 11th seed. The winner gets to move on to Glendale, Arizona, the Fiesta Bowl with
If
Boise
it ain't
State.
broke, just put Boise State in the Fiesta Bowl like
Yeah.
they always do.
If you're Oregon,
But I do have a gripe, though.
What's that?
Every person that's talked about this damn playoff has said that Penn State has the easiest route.
Yeah.
Quit doubting Boise.
Yeah.
They should have beat Oregon.
Yeah.
And I know Penn State played their asses off against Oregon,
that's
but
that's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
I'm sick of the disrespect.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason they say that's because Boise's strength of schedule was 80th something, but otherwise, I mean, I think they're capable of making any team on that list competitive, in my opinion. Yeah.
I think everybody has their eyes on Ashton Jeanty, and one person that they forget about who's been the straw to stir the drink for these Broncos, Maddox Madsen, has had a fantastic year. Because of Ashton Jeanty's celebrity status that he's gained throughout the year, everybody talks about Jeanty, and they don't realize the type of year that Maddox Madsen has had this season. And,
Who beat out former 5-star Malachi Nelson for the starting job before the season started.
Watch out for Malachi Nelson, 'cause he's a dog on the video
Yeah,
game.
man, there's quite a few good backups coming in. But let me ask you guys, if you're Oregon, would you rather be in Penn State's position or no?
I'm sure they would be.
Yeah, because, I mean, you got Oregon is the number 1 overall seed, and their reward for that is either Ohio State or Tennessee.
Because I know they don't
In
want
the
to
bye
play
week.
Ohio State again. And I know they damn sure don't want to play us.
They don't.
Yeah.
They really don't. And
I don't think anybody wants to play Tennessee. I think we've been one of the most slept on teams all year.
we're a dark horse.
And we've, in so many of these games that we've won, we've played at our bottom.
Yeah.
We haven't hit our ceiling yet. And if that happens at the right time in this playoff run, boys, it might be crazy.
It may be crazy.
It might be a crazy finish to the year.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm excited. It seems like we've hit our stride too. I mean, you have a really good win over Vanderbilt, close the year out.
Yeah.
Cement your spot in. You end on a win. And a lot of these teams, they ended their regular season on a loss, or maybe not a lot, but Notre Dame. No, I'm sorry, SMU, Penn State, Ohio State. Yeah. Texas. They're coming off losses, so seems like there's more pressure on them to have to win the next one. Tennessee, we've won,
Yeah.
So we're glad to be here, and we want to compete, and we want to keep adding on to what we have done. We don't want to readjust. We want to keep adding on and making people play our game. So,
Yeah. And the last matchup here in the first round, we'll see Notre Dame play host to Indiana, the 7th seed hosting the 10 seed. All of these spreads opened up at 7.5 for the favorites, except for Texas and Clemson. Texas favored 11.5 in that game. So looking at it, there are going to be some upsets. There are going to be might be some blowouts. What's one team that y'all can almost guarantee a win for in this first round?
Okay, SMU will beat Penn State, in my opinion.
That line is moved to 8.5 now. Penn State hosting SMU.
Part of me wants to say Indiana.
Indiana over Notre Dame.
That's a state of Indiana rivalry right there.
Yeah, that is.
That's a good point.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
I think if SMU keeps playing, if they played how they did in the fourth quarter versus Clemson, I don't see why they don't beat Penn State. But it is at Penn State, and they have a great home field advantage.
Golly, dude, it's probably going to be like 10 degrees.
It's going to be rocking. So, I don't know. I feel like it definitely could happen, but I don't know. I mean, in like Texas and Clemson, I'm even doubtful to say Texas for sure will win on that one.
I am too.
Because Clemson, they have a lot of momentum coming in. They just won the ACC championship.
I don't think Quinn Ewers is that guy.
I don't. I agree.
He's won a lot of games, and he's looked good in a lot of games, but in so many games that really, really matter, he just kind of folds.
Does he have that killer instinct? Looks like Arch Manning has that killer instinct.
They just need to let him have the ball and go. Like at this point, Ewers is just wasting their time.
It may end up being like that Jalen Hurts Tua situation.
Which I'd love to see Arch Manning transfer, but I'd hate to see him transfer too. Because if he goes to the Big Ten,
I like Nico.
Pull something out of his ass and goes to Oregon or Ohio State.
He could do that.
He could.
Like,
also, I was gonna say something.
Isn't Ewers a senior though?
I believe so.
So
I don't think he should come back this year.
No, but I mean, like Ewers and Beck have honestly ruined their draft stock this year.
Yeah.
You know, like Beck was projected #1 overall pick this year. You know, and based on his interceptions, and I don't know, man, he just doesn't.
That's what I was getting into as well. Kirby Smart has kind of a decision to make. Obviously, if Beck is healthy, he will more than likely get the start. But at what point do you pull him out if he comes out and looks pretty bad in the first half or whatever of whoever they play between? I think is that the Notre Dame side of the bracket? Yeah, so they'll play either Notre Dame or Indiana. If Notre Dame beats Indiana and Georgia plays Notre Dame's defense isn't bad. Yeah. We've shat on Notre Dame and Penn State all year, and Notre Dame's looked pretty decent here towards the end of the season.
Beating up on the military services.
Yeah.
Which, hey, we got Army-Navy this weekend.
Yeah.
But, I mean, at what point do you go to that Gunnar Stockton kid who came into that second half after Carson Beck went out?
He wreaked havoc.
He didn't put up a lot of stats. He didn't put up a lot of stats, but he ended up being the one to lead Georgia to that win.
He got him some momentum. He got the ball moving.
He came in and caused some chaos for the Texas defense. You know,
and like you just mentioned, we've seen this happen before. When Jalen Hurts was a starter at Alabama national championship game, Nick Saban pulls him out of the game, puts Tua Tagovailoa in, and he wins them a national championship. Jalen Hurts hits the transfer portal, goes to Oklahoma.
Yeah. Now, I don't think there's a route, if Carson Beck's a senior. So, right?
Yeah, he should be going to the draft, I'd say.
But regardless, the last half of your career, we're not saying it'll work out this way exactly. He may not even be healthy enough to even play.
True.
And honestly, it looks like the Georgia team likes the new guy.
He brought a spark.
He did.
He brought
did.
a spark.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. Like you said, Kirby may have he may not have the decision. He may, God may be looking over him saying, "Hey, Carson Beck, he's injured.
Yeah,
he lifted off your shoulders."
Yeah,
but we'll see what happens.
Georgia's they're a scary team to have to play in these playoffs, especially.
See, I feel like they gave the 2 seed too easy of a route.
Yeah, well, I mean,
everybody you see Oregon's path, and then you look at Georgia's path, and they just seem.
But everybody's got the same ultimate goal, and that is to win the national championship. And to do that, you're not going to get 4 easy games in this tournament. So I feel like everybody, some may have an easier path in the beginning, but at some point you're going to have to play somebody and show that you can beat them.
Yeah.
And Tennessee is going to be tested in round 1. Ohio State's definitely going to be tested. A couple of these other teams, Texas might be tested. They're double-digit favorites, but they don't really have a great home field advantage.
Nor do they have that great of a resume to build on.
Exactly.
They've lost to Georgia twice. I mean,
They've lost to Georgia twice, 1 at home, 1 on a neutral site. Who knows what Georgia would do to them in between the hedges?
Yeah.
But
yeah.
their only other ranked win was Michigan in week 2, and we've seen what Michigan turned out to be this year.
Yeah.
Their only other 2 games were the Georgia games, where they played even a ranked team.
Vanderbilt, maybe.
Vanderbilt might have been ranked at the time, but
barely. Does that even count?
they almost lost to Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
So, it's very interesting because I know Clemson hasn't had a great year, but Dabo Swinney, much like Kirby Smart, momentum can be a huge thing going into this part of the season. And Dabo Swinney knows how to win. He knows how to prepare his team.
He's been there. Yeah.
Kirby Smart, same thing, whether it's Carson Beck or Gunnar Stockton. Josh Heupel is a wild card, hadn't been here before. Ryan Day has made it to a 14 playoff. Played very well against a Georgia team that ended up winning the Natty by 50 points.
Yeah.
But it's, man, I'd hate to be Ryan Day right now.
Yeah, man, he's got a lot more pressure on him than Heupel has almost no pressure.
Tennessee, I was listening to the On 3 guys earlier.
Andy and Ari.
Yeah. And
Jinx.
they were, you owe me a soda. Give me that Coke over there you got.
No.
But anyways, they were saying that Tennessee, this isn't the end goal is to make the playoffs. You know, we're playing for a national championship. But from where Josh Heupel took over this program, Jeremy Pruitt had all these transfers leave after he got fired. People transferred out, hit the portal. Josh Heupel had no team. It was him and Hendon Hooker.
Leftovers.
And they went 7-6, lost in a bowl game, in a game we should have beat against Purdue, but we're past that. And then had the incredible 2022 run. Last year was kind of a transition year, and now he's got us in the playoffs 4 years later. And
his team, his recruits.
But as far as Ryan Day, he beat Michigan his first year, has lost to him 4 times.
See, I feel like any other Ohio State head coach, immediately.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the fact that he has a chance to win a national championship in this tournament with the great roster he has, the best roster money can buy is what I've heard people say. The fact that he has that, just lost to Michigan again,
like
has
a
to get
6-5 Michigan.
This isn't the national championship team that Michigan had last year. There's like you said, there's I think 7-5 they finished with.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they've got all this pressure. It's been national championship or bust. And in week 2, what do we say, Jacob?
You can't wait to watch them bust.
Cannot wait to watch Ohio State bust.
No, you said, I can't wait to watch them bust. It was crazy work. Yeah. But the thing is, adding on top of that, Ohio State, they lost at home too.
Yeah.
And they got to go back to home.
They got to
The
go.
pressure is way more on them.
At what point, like how early in the game do you think their fans start booing? You know? Like, and who knows? Ohio State may come out and look like a national championship contender and just dog Tennessee. Who knows?
4th and short at the 50, they punt it. Boos.
Yeah. Will Howard
See,
throws
I
a
don't even
pick to
think-
Jamal McCoy.
I don't even think the Ohio State fans want them to win a national championship at this point.
Yeah,
they just want to see Ryan Day gone. I've got a guy
out of here.
I've got a guy I work with,
know.
Josh, who is obviously a Tennessee fan, but he's always been a Ohio State fan too. And he's saying he hopes Tennessee wins just to get Ryan Day out of there.
And like honestly, Andy and Ari were saying like, is winning the national championship enough?
Yeah, I know.
Like, that's how bad they take it.
That's like if they don't win a national championship, the season is obviously a failure, even if they did beat Michigan. Yeah. But they just lost to Michigan for the 4th time in a row, had a flag planted on their field. Everybody got in a fight. People got pepper spray in the eyes.
Yeah.
Like, what are they thinking right now?
Imagine the Michigan environment next year. Looking
Yeah,
way
they're
forward.
going to have to go to the big house. But Man.
It's not. You have a lot of pressure, like if you're Ryan Day, of course.
And Tennessee, to the point we were making, Tennessee is probably one of the teams in the playoffs right now. Them and maybe Indiana of teams with the lowest amount of pressure.
Yeah. And if you're Indiana, how do you like that matchup versus Notre Dame?
See, I feel comfortable with it
If you're Indiana,
because, I mean, kind of like them, Notre Dame's played nobody all year.
yeah. I mean, Texas A&M, that's it.
And Army, if you want to put them in that
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah.
But
What about you, Skylar? What do you think? If you're Indiana, do you like the Notre Dame matchup?
Notre Dame's gonna have some big boys. I don't know if Indiana's got big boys like Notre Dame's got them, but no, come on, man. They got size. They got some tenacity.
Okay.
But
The dog in them.
Notre Dame, like we said, hadn't really played anybody all year at the same time. So
But Indiana kind of hasn't either. They played Ohio State and lost.
yeah. So I don't necessarily think Indiana's gonna be favored in any game if they were to play SMU, Clemson. Like I don't
well,
think.
see, I feel like they'd probably be favored against SMU.
I mean, maybe, but
It'd probably be a close.
that's what I'm
pick 'em.
saying. That's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
against Notre Dame, Ohio State, like they're not gonna be favored
You're not gonna get negative 200 odds on
Yeah.
money line for Indiana
in any of these games, and so they're just gonna, they're happy to be there. I'm sure.
Yeah.
They're gonna try to prepare and try to win this game, obviously. But
Yeah.
I'd probably think Notre Dame would win that. Do they cover 8.5 or whatever?
Do you think it's that close?
I don't know. I
Wasn't
don't
it
know.
sitting at 7.5 right now?
One of them moved to 8.5. That might
Well,
have been
the
might have been.
SMU Penn State.
Yeah. So yeah, it's right now. Yeah, it's still 7.5. Notre Dame's favored over under 50.5. So
I think Notre Dame will win, but only if they focus on this game. If they overlook Indiana and they're looking at like, oh, we gotta go play Georgia next. Like, no, you gotta win first. So I think a way that they lose is by getting in their own way and not actually applying their focus on one game. Yeah. That's what I would think would happen.
Yeah.
But if Notre Dame does end up winning, they have to go play Georgia. And is that like a traditional bowl game? Is that how it works at that point or what?
yeah, so after round 1, everybody plays in a bowl game.
Yeah,
pretty
okay.
much.
Yeah.
And so it'd be a neutral site, right?
Yeah.
Georgia. So, I mean, you have to go play Georgia. I mean, regardless of Georgia's offensive, quarterback situation, that defense, I don't know if Notre Dame does a lot on offense versus Georgia.
Yeah,
I really don't. Not a lot of teams can.
Because, I mean, they're a
regardless.
run-first offense.
Yeah,
And I know good and well that Georgia D-line's just going to shut it down
it is.
immediately.
Yeah, and Georgia has had some weak spots in its passing game and its passing defense, in my opinion. Like Texas, the first quarter, they were just driving down the field wide open. But the running game, that's a 180 from that situation. And Notre Dame, they're not going to be able to run over them. So if Notre Dame wins versus Indiana, I would hate to see the score of that Georgia game.
So now that we have the official bracket made, we know who's playing who. We see the path to victory for this national championship run, boys. Who do y'all think will, one, make it to the national championship, and who do y'all think will win the national championship? I will say, in the preseason, right before week 1, I said it'll be Oregon and Georgia in the Natty. And the number 1 and number 2 seeds are Oregon and Georgia, which means they will not meet until the Natty. So I think I'm going to...
I don't know who I said, but
Tennessee could beat anybody.
I may have
don't
said
know.
Tennessee and Georgia.
You said Tennessee and Georgia, which also
Well, I mean,
could
it's
happen.
looking like it could happen.
Yeah.
And honestly, I was telling
Which,
Skylar,
I mean, there is a way also that there could be a Boise State
it could.
Tennessee
I'm
national championship.
I'm looking at that as well.
That's what my heart wants.
Yes,
But it would also break my heart at the same time.
because then you have to get your tips frosted either way.
Yeah, you would. You would.
Let's do
You made
this
that bet.
half, checkerboard this half,
That'd be crazy.
blue and orange.
Honestly, Georgia has a good route. If they end up playing, if Indiana upsets Notre Dame and Georgia gets Indiana, they'd love to see that. But I definitely think Georgia will win their one game, and then they'd have to either face Penn State, SMU, or Boise. Yeah, I mean, I think Georgia does get there somehow, regardless of the QB situation.
Yeah, it's just looking like it.
Yeah, they're coming off a win and they have momentum, So I would say Georgia.
Which if Georgia does win the Natty, will they be the first 3-loss national champion ever?
They may be.
They could be, yeah. I think there's been one or two that have had 2 losses.
Or no, wait, they've got 2 losses. I'm stupid.
Yeah.
I don't know why my brain
You're right.
Yeah, you're right.
thought they lost to Georgia Tech for a second.
Moral victory.
Yeah.
Georgia Tech has that one. But honestly, I'm gonna keep saying Tennessee and Georgia. Was that really what I predicted?
Yeah. That was your prediction?
Tennessee, Georgia.
I said Georgia, Oregon. I think Oregon is probably one of the most complete teams. They've got some studs at receiver. Dylan Gabriel.
He's good.
He's a dog.
He is.
He looks like Tua, left-handed, very accurate. Doesn't have the biggest arm, but like I said, very, very accurate with the ball. Their running back room is very fast, and their defense is pretty good, even though they just had 30-something points dropped on them by Penn State. I think Penn State probably played their best game of the year. Easiest, even that being said, it's the easiest money I've ever made betting on Oregon -3.5, knowing James Franklin is now 1-13 against top 5 teams.
That's crazy.
So,
wow. Bring him back to Vanderbilt as an offensive coordinator.
one team that we have yet to mention in this whole segment right here, Arizona State.
Yeah, they look good versus was it Iowa State?
Iowa State. Cam Scattaboo.
Well, see, I feel
is
like
a
Iowa
freaking
State's
dog.
frauds.
They could be. They were also
Because, I mean, I
Shit.
they had a
discredit to me, but I haven't watched a single Iowa State game except for
Well,
bits
they
and
were-
pieces
they
of
were
that Big
one of
12
the-
championship.
They were one of the undefeated teams going up to week like 8 or 9. They've lost a couple towards the end of the season in the second half, but even the beginning of their season was good enough to get them to that Big 12 championship. And so, but Arizona State, man, they've gotten hot at the right time. They're hot coming in to this bracket, the playoffs. And Cam Scattaboo is going to be one of those guys we're looking for next year.
And
He's a freaking dog.
Arizona State was projected to finish last in the Big 12, I believe.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
wild.
And now they've made it.
Oh, wait, where's Colorado at?
Big 12.
Yeah, they didn't play for the conference championship? What?
Nope.
Travis Hunter didn't lead. How many losses
Oh,
they
he's
got?
bullshitting.
3 losses?
They're 9-3, yeah.
Colorado got 3 losses?
Yes.
Sitting at home right now with their feet kicked up?
Hey, but give Travis Hunter the Heisman because he can make an interception and he can get a touchdown.
Guess so. He's in the Heisman
See,
race.
bro, I bet I could grab 15 corners from anywhere
And just put him in on offense.
Put them in at wide receiver,
Yep.
and they do fine.
So
I agree with that take.
So we'll
I agree.
see.
I did it in high school, bro. I played, but I didn't play, but I ran scout both ways.
Yeah, it's catching a ball. I mean,
Yeah.
that's way oversimplified. No disrespect, but
I mean, he's obviously one of the best
It ain't
players.
that hard.
yeah, but he's not the best of his position, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
So
and
he-
he ain't gonna be doing it in the NFL either. I mean, that's just
So he is the clear-cut favorite to win the Heisman as far as sports betting goes. -5,000. Ashton Jeanty is number 2, +1,300. So huge difference. With that being so one-sided, tell me how many touchdowns and interceptions he's had total this year. How many touchdowns do you think he's had? If he's this
Probably like 11 or 12.
I'd say like 9.
14 receiving touchdowns,
Okay.
1
Okay.
rushing touchdown. So how many interceptions do you think he's had?
At,
or
at least the same. What interceptions? At least
Yeah.
the same, right?
4.
Oh, okay.
See, yeah. How many interceptions Gerard McCoy have this year?
3 or 4?
See?
Yeah, but they've been like way incredible in like the best times, like Alabama, and then also the tip flip.
I don't want this to
Versus
seem.
Vandy.
I don't want this to seem disrespectful towards Travis Hunter at all. Okay, he is one of the best athletes in the country, one of the best players.
Yeah.
It is incredibly hard to go both ways, especially at this level of
The
football.
amount of plays you have to participate.
He's
in,
got,
too.
I think it said 11 pass breakups, 4 interceptions, defensively, 15 total touchdowns on offense. I just don't think that it should be so one. My argument isn't, it is for Ashton Jeanty to win the Heisman.
Yeah.
My argument is even more that it should not be so one-sided.
Yeah.
That Travis Hunter is far and away better than Ashton Jeanty with the incredible season he's had. And somebody was telling me the other day, he's like, we've seen this 3 or 4 other times from running backs before. Like they've had better, there's been 3 or 4 running backs that have had a better season than Ashton Jeanty, which is correct. And not all of those guys won the Heisman, but also with the year he's had, over 2,000 rushing yards, 30 rushing touchdowns, carried his team to a first-round bye, won the conference championship, almost beat Oregon in Eugene.
Yeah.
Without
We
them,
went,
they're not,
we
without
went
them.
8-5 last year.
Yeah.
Literally.
And so like, why is it so one-sided? Why?
But here's a question.
Also, with his over 2,000 rushing yards, if you just kept his yards after contact,
He'd still be in first.
it would be second. Like that would be second place right now. If you just took his yards after contact, it would be Ashton Jeanty rushing yards, Ashton Jeanty yards after contact, and then whoever is the next running back.
Ask yourself this, right? What would what would their state of success be without Travis Hunter on either side of the ball? And then ask yourself what Boise State's state of success would be. Would Boise State made it to the conference championship? Would they have won? Would they've had the 11-1 season that they've had? No, they wouldn't have. No, would Travis Hunter, with him playing the amount of plays he's had, but the impact isn't that crazy, in my opinion.
They would probably have 2, at the most, probably about 2 more losses.
Yeah.
What, Colorado?
Yeah. So they would, instead of being 9-3, they'd be around like 7-5.
Yeah.
You
But
know.
Boise State their drop off would be way worse.
Yeah.
So who's more
See, I feel
valuable?
like we'd be 8-4, 7-5.
Yeah, and you wouldn't have made it to the Mountain West
Yeah.
without him. But with Travis Hunter in Colorado, it's not too big of a drop off. I mean, your success isn't far off from what it is, you know. So that's just my take on it.
And I also tried to find the odds on FanDuel this morning for the Heisman, and they have taken that off. So I'm not exactly sure
And
what
something that
that's saying, but
sounded a little fishy when I was watching the Mountain West Championship game. The commentators every so often would be like, "Those of y'all who have already casted your Heisman vote, you better think on it."
yeah.
So part of me's thinking this shit somehow might be rigged.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie.
Stop the steal.
That sounds fishy.
Stop the steal.
Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, I thought maybe college football would have been a little corrupt if Alabama got in, but I have some faith that the committee did not get corrupted with Alabama not making it, you know.
Even though their watch party did not consist of pizza, beer, wings, chips and dip,
Yeah, that's
anything
crazy
like
work.
that. They were drinking water, sitting in
And that room
chairs that
needed
didn't
more
even look
life,
comfortable.
man.
Huh?
That room had no life to it.
the chairs didn't look comfortable. They were all old. I don't know. It's not my type
No
of watch
cutting up.
party.
No cutting up. Like, come on.
No
What-
joking.
Yeah, I agree. But you get what I'm saying. Like, I feel like with SMU making it in, there's a little.
Yeah.
I don't think there's as corruption. You know, I know a lot of the guys like Andy and Ari. They just put their votes in after all the regular season games have been played. I don't know when the date is for the Heisman.
I believe it's after the Army-Navy game.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Ashton Jeanty, in my opinion, deserves it, but overall, we don't got a dog in it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm sure Travis Hunter will win, but
Who makes the bigger impact? It's the same question the NBA and its players have been asking. What is the MVP? You
same
know,
in the NFL. It's more like a quarterback award.
Exactly.
But, you've got to take into account the team's record, where they end up. Then you also look at the stats and touchdowns and stuff.
Yeah.
Speaking of stats, did y'all watch that Bills game yesterday?
See, I saw
Yeah.
bits and pieces.
Did y'all see
Puka Nacua catch? Golly.
Did you see Josh Allen's stat line in the loss?
what was it?
3 touchdowns passing, 3 rushing touchdowns. He had, I don't know how many yards, but he was the first player in NFL history to throw for 3 touchdowns and run for 3 touchdowns in the same game.
You would think that's like a Michael Vick or, Cam Newton stat line.
Yeah.
Wow.
Josh Allen. Buddy.
Josh Allen, he's the MVP. I've changed. I mean, it was Jane Daniels at one point.
Yeah.
It's Josh Allen.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, that's crazy.
He's the man that brought the Chiefs down. And
if only the Bengals defense didn't suck.
Oh my God, dude. Joe Burrow would be right there with them. And Joe Burrow is the MVP because he's the most valuable player of the Bengals. Without them, they've lost all their games.
No, looking at the stats, this like historically might be the worst Bengals defense ever.
It's ridiculous. And I think is he the first quarterback to like throw over 300 yards, like 3 touchdowns, something like completion percentage, and lose those games when he does that?
Yeah, probably.
They're
pitiful.
literally 0-5 this year when he throws for 300.
It's
plus.
tragic.
That's crazy.
How does that even make sense?
They all seem to be pretty close too. The games, at least, right?
Yeah.
That's how competitive it is, man. Everything's like,
I think every game except for the Philly game has been close.
and they play the Cowgirls tonight, so we'll see how that turns
God,
out.
please.
It's gone down to -5.5. It opened at 7.5 in favor of the Bengals.
We'll find a way to lose.
So I just want to give a shout out to me and Griff for our outfit choices.
Didn't even
this
plan
week.
it.
Did not plan this at all.
I was about to be but her. I was like, damn, did I not do something cool? Apparently I didn't do something cool. Damn.
Jacob was here when I put this shirt on, and then Griff walked in. I was like, oh.
Oh, shit.
White Tennessee Vols shirt on top of a black hoodie with the ties. Do you have an Apple Watch on?
I got a black watch
That's
on.
crazy.
Black watch, yeah.
It's the oh my
That's
God.
wild. That's wild.
That's
All right, chat. Who wore it better? Put it in the comments.
we'll get picks right now.
So before we completely break off in the NFL, we do have a big game this weekend, boys. Army and Navy, one of the biggest games, not necessarily for any type of standings or anything like that, but the fact that this game is always week 15 of the year, or 14 maybe, and it's the Army Navy game, Special Forces. Everybody looks forward to this and watches it. A lot of times it's played in snow in Philadelphia and stuff.
The uniforms are always crazy.
Uniforms are crazy. Right now, the line is sitting at 6.5 in favor of Army, over under 39.5.
Slam the under.
93% of the money, 92% of the bets are on Army to cover now 6.5. It was 5.5.
Give me Army, baby.
I'm going to be a little controversial,
Go ahead.
and I'm sorry.
It's okay.
But I remember watching those 14 years straight as a kid. The dominance that Navy and Ken Niumatalolo had. They're going to continue it this weekend. Go Navy, beat Army. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Shoot.
man. Wow.
Man, he's going against the public.
Give me Army by 10 points.
10 points. Over under 39.5. I think this is a yearly tradition to bet a
under,
game,
yeah.
bet the under. Yeah. A lot of times it'll be sitting at like, this is more than it normally is. It's usually like around 32 or something.
Yeah.
But 39.5. So I think Army should win. I think they're the better team. They both are just run heavy offenses, which is why you would want to bet the under. The clock just keeps rolling. Time of possession is always, back and forth. Whoever controls the ball should win. 6.5 is kind of a lot in this type of game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Navy will win.
It's got the feel of a 17-13, 13-7 type feel to it.
So
Especially if the weather's bad.
my play in this game, I'm going to buy a couple points, get Navy at plus 8.5, and then over under 42.5. That'll be my play. Just to,
Spice it up.
Yeah. Why not?
I
Why
like
not?
that. Yep.
So,
Okay. Army's going to win, but Griffin, I like the intensity.
I like the enthusiasm, the pizzazz. So yeah.
But hey, if I'm wrong, I want you to make it a point to say, Jacob, I told you
Hey,
so.
I know you remember I was enlisted there for a minute.
Yeah. On the pod, please tell me though. if I end up being wrong, please tell me. But we'll see. Army's a good team this year.
So, as we break off from college football, a lot to look forward to. We finally got the bracket. We know who's in, who's not. Sorry, Alabama. Not sorry. Sorry, Miami. I am sorry.
I'm not sorry. Win. Beat Syracuse. You're in.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, but I wouldn't mind seeing Cam Ward in that conversation.
Hey,
but
I'll see Cam Ward in the Pop-Tart Bowl.
Yeah.
I feel like
who's
we were
coming up
robbed.
with these bowl games?
I don't know. I feel
They
like
robbed of us of Alabama, Miami.
Yeah,
Who else?
but I mean, at the same time, we probably wouldn't be seeing Cam Ward versus Jalen Milroe.
Yeah. it's
Although
probably
I
the-
think
What?
because
Well,
bowl
the bowl
games
games have
don't
turned
matter.
into-
Yeah, but
sit out games.
do you think? I mean, I think Jalen Milroe's come back, but is what Cam Ward is playing? He confirmed he was.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
That must be news.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So him, and I think Jalen Milroe, I would think he would come back for another year because he's had a god awful year, in my opinion. He's had a really bad year.
I'm wanting to say he might be a senior. Let me check.
Because
that
I
out.
think he played 2 years for Saban. I want to say he did. Last year and the year
no,
before that.
the year before that was Bryce Young in 22.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Uh,
But Milroe had to be on the team.
I mean, he's a junior quarterback, so
okay, yeah.
I
guess he
was
could.
if Jalen Milroe, if you're considering trying to get drafted, don't do another year. Develop a little more.
Do the right thing. Transfer to Georgia.
No, do the right thing. Transfer to Oklahoma.
yeah. Let Ty Simpson
Yeah.
take over. That'd be cool to see. But
Y'all hear, by the way, that Jackson Arnold's trying to transfer to like an SEC team, like another one?
He's going to go to Auburn and do the same thing. Nothing.
Get benched. Yeah.
yeah, that'll be interesting. I did not know that.
Yeah.
But
Which
yeah,
there's probably, I think, like 6 to 7, even maybe 8 quarterbacks that have already decided to transfer.
Mm-hmm. You know what should make all of us feel like pieces of shit though in here?
what?
Jalen Milroe was born on December 13th, 2002.
Yeah,
I'm a whole year older than this dude.
Me too.
God.
Ain't that crazy?
boys.
Because
I'm
I think
I'm
we're
almost
older
5
than.
years. I'm almost 5 years older than him.
But I'm used to, and everyone goes through this. Always been in the perspective of,
Yeah.
that's someone older than me or that's someone my age. No, that's a youngin right there.
Yeah.
Jalen Milroe's a youngin. Nico, that's a youngin.
No, bro, we're
Welcome
6
to the
years
real
older
world,
than
boys.
Yeah, welcome.
Ryan Williams. How's it feel?
Yeah.
Welcome to the real world. This is like there's no turning back now.
Yeah.
You're never gonna
But
look.
yeah, golly, I got 3 months and I hit my Kobe year.
Yeah.
They were about to be 5 months removed from high school. Ain't that crazy?
It's insane.
But okay, sorry.
Well, I will say shout out to the University of Tennessee in general. We've got the best athletics program in the nation. Football has made the college football playoff. Baseball won the Natty. Oh, softball made the Super Regionals. Ooh. Basketball ranked number 1, baby. Vols ranked number 1 in the newest AP Top 25 after Kansas and Auburn both lost in the same night last week.
And Kansas has lost twice in a row.
Oh, wow. So they're pulling a UConn, it looks like.
Yep.
So Tennessee now number 1 after our win against Syracuse last week. We got Miami tomorrow night, Tuesday night.
Yeah,
believe
tomorrow
so.
I think. Yeah.
So
At Miami.
let me go
Or
check
it's
on
the
that line.
Jimmy V Classic.
Yeah.
I think.
Okay. My
Yeah.
bad. I keep saying that. I think they have them listed as like the.
The road team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why
Yeah,
I kept
that
saying
is
it.
in New York City. So that'll be a little road trip. Tennessee minus 16.5 point
go.
favorites.
Let's go.
The only thing I worry about is these stadiums or arenas that we never play in is like, seems like we don't
Because
ever
what's it
shoot that
saying?
well.
Barclays?
I'd have to look, but
But
somewhere
it's
in
like
New
your
York.
your field of vision, your perspective behind the goal is off.
Yeah.
That's why I like playing on. This is just fun. I like playing on backboards that are solid white.
Oh, nice.
More than the see through.
Yeah.
Because like doesn't mess me up as much. I'm still god awful, but
86% of the money 76% of the bets are on Tennessee to cover minus 16.5. But yeah, we're number one. If we can beat Miami, we got Illinois at Illinois on Saturday. Illinois is a ranked opponent, so we'll see how that plays out. But if we can win these two games, then we're going to be number one up until the new year, at least, when we start conference play. We'll welcome in Arkansas and John Calipari. I think that's
Used car
January.
salesman. My favorite used car salesman.
Better be ready to lose yet again.
Y'all remember when Kentucky
see.
gave him a lifetime contract?
Yes. And
That did not last a
I was
lifetime?
like, how does that even happen? Is that?
Well, I think Kansas did the same thing with Bill Self.
And then Juan Soto just got one.
Oh my God.
the Mets are a joke.
15 years.
You let Pete Alonso walk just so you could sign Juan Soto, who's going to be hurt half of next of the 7 years that are in the
15.
future.
15.
So
15
he'll,
years.
7 of those years
Yeah.
he's going to be
Yeah.
hurt.
15 year, $765 million. I think, isn't it all guaranteed too?
Yeah.
With stipulations in the contract,
It's a
Where
crime how
he can-
much baseball contracts are.
he can get up to over $800 million.
Now,
after
see,
these
Jacob,
15.
if I had a time machine, I'd go back to when I was like 11 years old and like hammered baseball into my
You
brain.
pick up this bat, you don't put it down the rest of
No,
the
You put that shit down, I'm gonna kill you.
Let's be real. If we had a time machine, we would go back and we would buy Bitcoin. Okay, that's just
Bitcoin, and I would
real estate.
gamble heavily in
No,
sports.
yeah, just hell yeah, just give myself all the Super Bowl outcome, every
Yeah.
detailed game, so I could just do exactly what it says. Yeah,
Yeah.
hell yeah.
That's what I do.
Then I'd have way more than 765 million. All of us would.
Yeah.
Because you can't lose. But yeah, congrats, Juan Soto. You've just changed your
You
family's
finessed the
lineage.
Mets.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
He literally moved across the street.
yeah, he didn't have to move far for sure. But yeah, so also a little tidbit into the women's team, now ranked number 18 in the AP poll.
Just beat what, Iowa?
Iowa and Florida State in the last week.
Wasn't Iowa 17 or 18?
Yeah, they were ranked. They were also undefeated as well. Lady Vols are undefeated. And I was told today that shout out to Ron. Shout out to Ron at my
Tehran or Turon?
Tehran.
Is his name
T.
Okay.
T. Shout out T. He told me that the Lady Vols just snapped the longest streak they've had being unranked. So shout out Kim Caldwell.
Yes.
Looks like she's turning the program around finally.
She's a real one.
Yeah, she seems like we made a good hire, which
I had a
tends to
feeling it
happen
was
with
gonna
Danny
be
White.
higher, yeah.
Yeah. Danny White's a freaking beast.
He is.
Which I believe.
He should get
wasn't
765
she-
million.
Wasn't she the head coach at Marshall?
Yeah.
And
Marshall-
Western
was.
Carolina too.
Yeah. So she's won everywhere she's been too. So to see us undefeated right now is not necessarily a surprise, even though it is kind of a pleasant surprise, I would say.
Yeah.
But-
yeah.
So yeah, things are looking up around Tennessee. I
They
can't
are.
wait to see this game at Ohio State. But
And if we lose, that's okay. But let's not lose.
yeah, that's a good way to put it. Like you said, Jacob, the Cowgirls host the Bengals tonight. The line's now 4.5. Wow, that has been on the move. Cincinnati favored 4.5 tonight, over under 50.5. Looking into this upcoming week, we have the 49ers hosting a division game against the LA Rams. 49ers minus 2.5, Griff. They just beat the shit out of the
Yeah.
Bears.
That baffled me yesterday when I saw that scoreline.
Yeah.
I was like,
That was pretty wild. Not really a whole lot of games that I'm necessarily looking forward to this week. Obviously Green Bay plays, but your Bengals are at Tennessee. You gonna go see that one? It's in Nashville.
those tickets are probably going to be cheap as hell. I ain't gonna
Yeah,
lie.
I mean -4.5. Bengals at
What's the day
Tennessee.
on that?
It is this Sunday, the 15th. So let's just go look at Ticketmaster for you. Or no, we'll go TickPick. TickPick. No fees. Sponsor me's.
Well, see, I ran into a little bit of an issue with that at the UT game.
Oh no,
the
what
other night.
happened? Tell me about it.
Well, see, like on the app, whenever you pull your tickets up, it doesn't pull the bar, the scan code up. It's just
Oh, on the app?
it makes it more difficult.
You can save it to your wallet though. You got an iPhone?
Mm-hmm.
Did you do that?
Tried to.
Oh.
Which I think
haven't had a problem
the first
with that.
time I did that for a Tennessee game, it worked, but oh well.
Yeah. So Titans Bengals, December 15th. You can get in for $30. $30 tickets, not bad at all. There are also $100 tickets if you want to do that, but
Yeah.
but yeah, $30 to go see your team play in Nashville is not too bad. This might be a banger. Miami Dolphins at Houston Texans.
That bathroom break was a banger.
Welcome back, Jacob Fine.
Thank you. Clap.
Sorry.
Come on.
Welcome back.
Y'all didn't know I was gone. That's crazy.
Yeah, I know.
Slick
So
magic.
the Texans host the Dolphins -2.5. That might be a pretty good game. Boys, do you think Jameis Winston can do it, get it done at home against the Chiefs?
I hope so. I love his video, the video they show of him where he's like juggling the ball around and he's doing the whole
yeah.
eating the dub and all that.
I just asked God to deliver me from these pick sixes.
Yeah, and hopefully he does by the time they play the Chiefs. The Chiefs have gotten oh my gosh, dude.
It's black magic, dude. I'm convinced.
Did you see how they
fully.
won
Yeah,
last
I'm
night?
convinced fully at this point.
1 second left. Kick a field goal, bounces off the left side of the field goal post.
Bro, any other team that would have hit the crossbar flew into the stands.
It's going
and the
back.
game would've been over.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chiefs are they're up to something, but the Chiefs is still the Chiefs. The Cowboys next week will play at Carolina. Guess what the line is in that game, boys?
32.5.
No, as far as the spread goes.
Oh, Carolina -4, something like that.
Really?
Is that it?
Carolina -1.5.
Yeah.
But the Panthers are favored to beat the Cowboys.
They've been on a little bit of a roll because I
have.
think right now if you look at the comparison between Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud, Bryce Young looks a lot better stat wise, and it seemed like benching him was pretty beneficial.
I had a tweet. I think it was in the summer or sometime in the spring or summer. I said, hot take. Bryce Young is about to have a better year than C.J. Stroud. Has that happened? No, but it's
getting there.
It's flipping a little bit.
Wait till we get to the final week.
Yeah.
We'll see.
But I mean, Bryce Young didn't play there for a few weeks. He did get benched this year.
It's a learning curve, man.
Also, like C.J. Stroud hadn't looked great. He looks like he might be in a little bit of a sophomore slump, if you will.
That's super common in every sport.
Very, very.
Very common.
So
Jordan Love's in his, fifth year. No, I'm just kidding. I was gonna say his fifth. I don't know what year he is. What year is he?
I think it's probably 4 or 5.
Yeah,
His fourth
something
year
like that.
slump. No, I'm just kidding.
No, last year was his 4th. This is his 5th.
Wow,
Second year as a starter.
I did not.
Because I don't know how I've never asked you this. Were you in the same boat as Ty Schmidt the night that the Packers used the 26th pick to draft Jordan Love?
I didn't watch that draft. I don't think.
What was your reaction when you got the news?
I woke up to a notification, saw it on Twitter that the Packers' first-round pick was Jordan Love, quarterback of Utah State. My initial thought was like, I wasn't thinking anything about like being one weapon away or anything. I was like, it's about time we got a new quarterback. Like, the way the Packers do. The way the Packers do, you draft your next guy in line. Because Aaron Rodgers, he ended up being a 2-time MVP back-to-back 2 years after that. But also, like, it's about time for us to draft
Start training
the next in line,
Yeah.
have him sit behind Aaron Rodgers for 2 or 3 years, which happened. Jordan Love came out, looked pretty sluggish in the first half of the season last year, and then turned it on this year. A little bit of the same. Not really in the same
Injuries
boat.
too.
Yeah. Also in a better position right now at this point of the season than we were, this time last year. We lost a lot of games last year that we shouldn't have, and haven't really had that happen this year.
Well, how do you feel about that stat of them being 9-4, but none of their wins are over 500 teams? Is that right?
One win, I think. One win against a team who is now 500 or better. I think that was the Texans. Our 4 losses, the first one came in Brazil, week 1 to the Eagles. Lost to the Vikings in a game we were down 28-0, almost came back and won. And that seemed to be like when Jordan Love was coming back from the injury. That was his first game back, and it seemed like from then on he's kind of just been improving, getting back in the swing of things week by week. And then we've had 2 losses to the Lions this year. Won by 10 at home, and then this past week lost by 3. Lions are a scary team to play. I would not mind playing them again in the playoffs.
Can't really be mad about any of those losses, in my opinion.
That's what I'm saying. Like we've beaten who we're supposed to beat, and we've lost to some pretty good teams. I mean, the Eagles are in second place in the NFC. 2 losses to the Lions, who were first place in the NFC, and then a loss to the Vikings, who is in third in the NFC.
Vikings are really solid. Yeah.
So, I mean, hell, you can't win them all. I'd like to start winning some of these, but as long as we make the playoffs, we'll see how the chips fall.
Maybe I'll get on a little bit of a momentum swing.
Yeah, we've got the Seahawks this week, Sunday Night Football.
Seahawks just beat the hell out of the Cardinals.
Yeah, I saw that.
I had Cardinals money line, man, and I knew when Kyler Murray threw 2 picks in a row, I was like, I'm cooked. Parlay's cooked. Should have cashed out. Didn't. All good, though.
So the Packers play at Seattle. -3 is the line for Green Bay. They're favored at Seattle. So Packers -3 on the road. I don't like playing at Seattle. I'm going to be honest. We've had some bad things that have happened in Seattle. We had the interception touchdown. Whenever the NFL refs went on strike.
That
remember
was
that?
Totally a touchdown, right? Or no, it was totally interception.
Yeah, for Green Bay.
Yeah.
And they called it a touchdown. One called it a touchdown, one called it a touchback because we intercepted it. And so they ended up ruling it a touchdown.
Because they didn't have enough video evidence. I don't know. You can't. I mean, if it's a split decision, you can't overturn.
So then we also had, I think that was in 2012, and then 2014 maybe in the NFC Championship game, we were up 16-0, and
fans walking out the stadium.
Russell Wilson. This was at Seattle. Russell Wilson led them to a comeback. It did go into overtime. So they scored
16-0, right?
Yeah, I think there was something that happened. I can't exactly remember, but Seattle scored,
Fake
and
field
then maybe I can't remember, but they did have an onside kick where a Green Bay player went up, had it in his hands, just popped off his helmet. It hit his helmet, went through his hands, and Seattle recovered it, went to overtime, and then hit a bomb on us to end the game. It was one of the toughest games I've had to watch.
It was a fake field goal.
Yeah, you're right. I think they did.
It was 16-0, fake field goal. He runs it in for he runs it, then throws it into the end zone, and that's when momentum started to swing.
So, it was a tough loss for Aaron Rodgers, and probably the best Packers team we had in that whole A-Rod run. And then, we've got losses to the 49ers. We got losses to the Seahawks, the Tom Brady Buccaneers. Like, it's been rough, once Green Bay gets to the playoffs, but we get there pretty much every year. So I don't think there's going to be I don't think there's going to be any difference in this season, and hopefully we can go on a run. I think my Super Bowl prediction was the Bills and the Packers. Who knows?
I don't think Packers are beating the Lions, though, if they meet them again.
Maybe Green Bay doesn't have to. Maybe somebody else will.
I don't think Lions are losing to anyone.
I'm gonna be honest. The Lions are gonna drop 1 or 2 before the end of the season.
They have been dealing with injuries, the worst of any team.
I don't see them ending the regular season with 1 loss. I'll put it that way. So
they've been dealing with a lot of injuries.
They're all professional players, professional teams.
Yeah.
All it takes is 1 bad week for the Lions to drop 1 or 2. Does that mean I think Green Bay can come back and win the North? No, but we're definitely going to make the playoffs, and who knows what happens after that.
Well, Lions, they got the Bills coming up Sunday the 15th.
Oh, yeah, I heard that.
And so that's going to be a tough matchup.
How did I miss that one when we were talking about the games?
And then it's at home. And then the Lions
Is that a Friday night game?
Sunday.
Sunday afternoon, Lions favored 1.5.
Oh, yeah,
in a
that's
pick
right. You did
against
say
the
the
Bills.
15th.
That's a really
a minute ago.
close one. That's a pick 'em, honestly. And then the Lions go to Chicago, play the Bears. They go to San Francisco, play the 49ers.
Golly, I
And
don't
then-
know.
then they
If
play
Nick
it-
Saban could save the Bears at this point.
And then they play Bill Belichick. Then they play the Vikings at home.
Yeah,
So,
that'll be a banger at the end of the year.
definitely there's a few. I mean, at least the Bills and the Vikings.
I think if the Lions do end up losing one game, then that game against the Vikings will be for the division championship, division title of NFC North. So there's a lot to look forward to, boys.
Honestly, I feel like if the Lions win out, their chance of winning a Super Bowl drops. I just have that feeling like if you keep winning, your luck's gonna run out eventually.
I mean, you
feel
say
like,
the same about the Chiefs, but they seem to have luck on their side every game. Every game.
yeah, I'm gonna look at their remaining schedule too, because
Yeah, go ahead. I'm interested. They did secure the AFC West title last night against the Chargers off that doink that went in. That final was it 19-17?
yeah, 16-17 they drove down, called timeout with 1 second left.
I'm pretty sure that was the final score of the Raiders game last week too. That the Chiefs
Yes,
played.
1917.
That's wild.
Okay, here I'm gonna go through the Chiefs wins. Okay, so 1917, 30-27, 30-21. They lost that one. 16-14, and then 30-24, 27-20, 28-10, 26-13, 27-10, or no, 17-10, 22-17, 26-25, and then 27-20.
Yeah, I saw a stat that said earlier today said the Chiefs, out of their 12 wins, they're 12-1. 2 of those have been by multiple possessions.
That's true.
10 of those games have all been one-score games.
That's everything that's why I listed, like the Chiefs 49ers 28-18, that was 10 point, and then the week before that on October 7th was 13 Saints, 26 Chiefs. So
yeah.
just those 2 games, but then the rest are like within 7 points or less. So I mean, and then you got the Bengals losing by 1 point and an absolute heartbreaker. Because with the Ravens you have the half an inch, at the
Back
end
of
zone
the
out
end
there.
zone.
Yeah.
Isaiah
Bengals.
Likely.
Yeah, then the pass interference, and then man, when they were playing the Raiders last week, or I think it was last week, right?
Yeah. Black Friday.
Yeah, and the rest they threw a flag, right? But they decided to call a legal shift
Instead of a false start.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
makes you think, man. Makes you think.
So the Chiefs' magic or luck is going to run out at some point. Is it this year? I hope so.
Hey, it's black magic at this point.
Yeah,
I hope it runs
voodoo.
out first round of the playoffs.
Yeah,
I hope it goes all throughout the regular season. Then just first round of the playoffs, they drop an egg.
kind of like the Eagles last year.
Yeah,
But they will have at least one home game. They've locked up their division. And now they're just gunning for that number 1 spot in the AFC. They're a game ahead of the Bills. The Bills have a tiebreaker over them, so that'll be interesting to see. But yeah, college football's wrapping up. We're getting into a magical finish. NFL still got a few weeks left, but things are getting spicy in the football world. Things are getting spicy, and we're about to figure out who is for real and who's not. So
all that crap I've been talking about Ohio State, I finally have to
face the magic.
Yep.
Or face the music, sorry.
Yep. I feel good about it.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
All right, boys. Well, as we wrap up episode 15 of $1 Million Radio, let's go ahead and talk about some songs for the week.
Limp Bizkit, Take a Look Around.
Take a Look Around by Limp Bizkit. Okay.
Mm-hmm. If you don't listen to Limp Bizkit, man, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah, well, I don't really listen to Limp Bizkit, but I don't not like them.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. What's yours, Griffin?
I'm going to go with Freeze Time by 311.
Is that their newest album? Is that on their newest? Oh, it's an older one.
Came out
Well,
in 99. It's Sound System.
okay. Okay. I love 311. I think My favorite one on that is Come Original. That is my favorite on.
Oh, so a banger.
Yeah. Frank Shedrick showed me that one. Shout out Frank and
Shout
the
out
Miami
Frank.
Hurricanes.
And the Oakland Raiders. Well,
And
I guess the Las Vegas
The
Raiders.
Las Vegas Raiders.
And is he a Warriors fan too?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So-
Man, they're all kind of on the struggle bus right now. Hey, Draymond looks like prime LeBron.
Bro, did you see that thing I sent you
Yeah.
earlier, bro? He did that
Yeah.
walk through between the legs.
The tomahawk slam on Rudy Gobert is crazy, dude. Skylar, tell us yours.
Bad Flower. Wide Eyes.
Haven't listened to
Bad
them
Flower's a
in a minute.
good band, dude. I think
Yeah.
Wes likes them.
Yeah, Wes is the one that put me on this. Shout
Yeah.
out Wes. We're gonna get him on at some point.
Yeah, when sports die down,
We're gonna have a lot of people on.
yeah,
So
we'll have some guests.
we're fairly into the music scene here in Knoxville, so we're gonna figure out some ideas to get everybody involved with this this podcast. So a lot of things to look forward to as football season does wrap up. But for now, it is mainly about sports. But Bad Flower, Okay, I'm Sick is the name of the album. Wide Eyes is the name of the song.
What year?
so-
You know?
2019. So not too old, but it's kind of
Yeah.
aging a little bit, but not necessarily a throwback at the same time.
Yeah.
So, all right,
Well,
boys. I
sounds
guess
good.
that'll wrap it up. Thanks
Yeah.
for coming in. This has been episode 15 $1 million Radio. We'll see you next week as we prepare for round one of the
go.
college football playoffs.
Let's go.
See you next time.